Hello, Thomas.
Hey, Craig.
How are you doing? Yeah, we graduated at Academy last night. That was good to get out in the streets. Finished up the Academy with a cold plunge. It was not my idea, by the way. I wanted full disclosure that I did not force anybody to go into freezing cold water.
How long? 3 minutes?
No, they weren't in there that long.
How long were you in there for?
Yeah, a couple minutes.
3?
No,
Isn't
not
3 the
that
standard?
long. Yeah, but I don't know. It feels different when you're around other people.
How so?
I don't know. Just like that is my time to like get in the zone.
Oh, okay.
This was more of just like a team bonding kind of experience. But it was so cold that I'll throw the video up. But and I got full rights to the video. I asked them if I can post it, but we had to use a chainsaw to cut like a channel to be able to walk into the ice, and then it was like probably 12 feet at the deepest. But it was fun.
The last academy I had out there, we did a team building exercise with the recruits.
The boats?
Yeah. So you had an hour to go into the bay with your teams.
Yeah.
And you could use anything in the bay to build something that floats.
That's cool.
And so the tiebreakers were, one, does it float? Does it float for at least, I think it was like maybe 3 minutes? Had to float for 3 minutes. And then if it started floating for 3 minutes, then every minute you would put one person of your group on it. And then if we got to that point where all four were on it, it was floating for a minute, then I would throw a football from the shore, and if they caught it, that was it. And we got to that. So 2 teams got to the final, and they're both floating. So then I go to I think I went to the first group, and they missed it, and then I went to second group, and this is probably 50 yards out. Just launch it, and Luke Wagner, I still can see it to this day. He jumps off the boat and it's diving sideways and catches in the air and falls in the water.
So
winner.
Where we do this is a reservoir. It's a pretty big reservoir. That's not nothing.
No.
That's a cool way to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. End of a group. I'm excited for the next one.
Well, speaking of academies.
Okay.
Let's recruits or whatever. I want to get your thoughts on something. So I was searching firefighter news I always do, right? It's a issue. And Colorado firefighter files FLSA lawsuit for overtime while attending fire academy. And so reading over it, these are quotes from the complaint.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just going to go through these and just kind of really, is that where we're at? So after training each workday at the fire academy, plaintiffs were required to perform additional mandatory chores. You mean like cleaning up after yourself?
Okay. Well, those don't look like chores to me. Inspecting your PPE, inventorying equipment. I mean, that's what we do at work.
Yeah. So plaintiffs were required to pass various written examinations while attending the fire academy. In order to prepare for these examinations, plaintiffs were required to study the material while away from the academy.
That's not true.
Nobody says you have to study.
If you
want to get good grades.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Checking up on this kid at home.
Yeah.
Hey, just want to make sure
they were also required to study independently outside of regular working hours to prepare for various presentations administered. Plaintiffs were quizzed by the defendants on the day's topics to ensure the plaintiffs had studied the information prior to the presentation. So, what are we doing here? I think this is to me, this is maybe there's 2 things that are the most frustrating parts of the fire cert for me. Do you want to be good at something? If you want to be good at anything in life, you're going to do things and sacrifice your time while not getting paid or compensated, whether it's monetary or whatever.
Sure.
Right? Kind of that delayed gratification. And the second thing is, which I was talking to another guy about this morning, was this inflated kind of performance ability that everybody puts on themselves, but
what do you mean?
A lot of times they don't prove it. Okay, so one of my buddies was working at a station, and another guy roved in. He's like, "Hey, let's go do stairs." Nah, I woke up, early this morning. I already did it. I'll just go have coffee.
Okay.
Clearly, stairs were not done at 5 a.m. Let's just say that
sure.
It's if stairs were being done regularly at 5 a.m.,
100%. Hey, I already did mine.
we would see those.
Sure,
Right.
results.
I know that's not happening.
Right.
But regardless, who cares if you're doing it at 5 a.m.? The whole crew's going over. Now you
Whole
got to do
team's
it.
doing it.
Hey, 2-a-days, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of just, you might just skip steps this time and walk and like kind of walk
Sure.
it up. You know what you know
Just
what I'm
be
saying.
there.
Yeah, you're not gonna sit while everybody else does it.
Just be there.
So it's like that. I got this. I already did it. I know how to do that type stuff. But
What do you think the driver of that is? Like, I don't want to be exposed. I'm lazy, or I'm too good for it. I don't think
all of the above, a combination.
I don't think it's the ever that I'm too good for it. Like,
Oh yeah, it is.
you think so?
Yeah, like I've been on 20 years. I don't.
Oh, but I think
that's just below me. Like I
don't think so.
I'm in a promoted role. I should never do that anymore.
I think the root of all that is I'm lazy, or I don't want to look bad in front of other people. I think that's the driver behind it all. They just hide behind the guise of,
Well, if you're out of shape and it's time
Yeah.
to work out as a crew, and you're going to get exposed.
100%.
You don't want to get exposed because then that damages your reputation, and people start to question whether you're as good as you say you are.
There it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a reciprocal relationship.
Yeah.
So you stop doing it because you don't want
wanna
to get
get it.
embarrassed. So then you get worse at it. So then you don't want to do it even more.
Right.
And then 5 years later, you haven't done it at all, and it's pretty rough.
I think with this, the part that bothers me is you think that this job owes you something. I shouldn't say this whole entire generation, because I don't even believe that to be true, but I've definitely seen it more recently where they believe like you're a public servant. I think personally, the city owes you two things. They owe you a paycheck every 2 weeks, the way they said they would, and they owe you good, safe equipment. That's it.
Well,
that's all they owe you.
Apparently not.
You owe them everything else.
Apparently not. Defendant did not track or compensate plaintiffs for any time spent studying independently, and defendant did not place a limit on the amount of time plaintiffs were permitted to spend studying independently. All time spent studying was in addition to the hours worked on site by plaintiffs each workday. Okay, so here's the thing. Recruit Stalloway.
Sure.
You have to pass this test, because if you don't pass the test, you cannot get certified as a firefighter.
100%.
So then you can't have a job here.
Okay.
However, I'm only going to pay you to study 30 minutes tonight for this test. And if you study more, like you're not allowed to study more.
Well,
No, you're not allowed to. You can only study 30 minutes.
I'm going to fail every test.
That's not my problem.
Well, clearly.
You got a solution? How are you not going to fail the test?
I'm going to study more.
You can't. I'm not allowing you to.
Well, then I'm going to go to a different department.
It seems very. This is what's, I think, tearing down the fire service. Sadly.
Well, all right. I think to me, and I think you kind of touched on it a little bit, like there's a certain amount of responsibility that you need to take to get ready for the job that you want. So if I want to start this fire service job, should I let the city know, hey, I'm preparing for your academy. I'd like to be compensated for that?
He should actually say that he wants money for the time taken to apply for the job.
With the thought process that this is kind of going down, like that would fall in line with when does that stop?
Or all the times on, okay, so the academy's physically taxing. Well, I'm just got to spend time on the weekends recovering and stretching, so I got to bill for that too.
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes,
you can't stretch.
I'm not.
No, you can only stretch a max of 15 minutes after you leave here.
So if you are requiring me to come to this fire academy and perform, I'm going to need to eat and drink to prepare for that. So I'm going to need you to pay for all my groceries, supplements.
Yeah, because you are burning the calories on my time.
So I
should probably pay for that food.
I'm going to need those from you.
You're right.
So I'm going to need that. I need to get there.
You also need to shave. So I probably need to pay you for that too.
You're requiring me to be at this facility. How am I supposed to get there? You going to pay for my gas?
Yeah, that's true. Probably need to pay for that too.
So, I don't know. Just some thoughts.
Well, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I need to pay for that.
Thank you.
I mean, honestly, I should probably be cleaning your toilet seat. Really. And I'm like, I'm making you be there for the job.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I guess I'm not providing transportation to another bathroom. So I should probably clean it for you.
So you're getting it.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
totally
surprised.
understand.
I'm surprised that it took you this long. I think it's a problem. I think that the other problem is that because this isn't the first time this has happened in the fire service.
No. I mean, in fact, there's a few of these stories within the last year.
Yeah.
And they're specifically targeting, I think one was with a Denver firefighter. And they're specifically targeting time in the academy.
So, what would happen if you come back and say, "Hey, listen, we spent more hours than we got paid for." That's a problem. I see that. However, the other way to do this is you have a year-long fire academy, right? Because if you do want to the standard has to stay the same, right? You have to learn all these things. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to pass the tests. So now we have one of two options. You either keep the academy the same, you don't allow recruits to study on their off time, you don't allow them to work out on their off time, you don't allow them.
No stretching, Craig.
Well, you don't allow
can't wipe your ass on your off time.
You don't allow them the reps
right.
in the academy, so you're going to fail out more people because you're not giving them the opportunities to be successful. Right?
Or you're spreading it out, like you said, over such a long period of time. So you're going to be in academy now a year or more.
Sure.
Whereas you could kind of bust through it.
Yeah.
And get done, then you're out, and now you're making more money because you get a pay raise, potentially work overtime, get more money, whatever, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a balance we can strike of making sure that we are cognizant of recruits' time and making sure that we later on in the academy maybe let them go a little bit early and give some hours back. And I think there's a way to do that. But if you are so strict, because we see this, there are some academies out there that if you're a second over the time, they pay you overtime. That's going to brutalize city budgets. Or if we make an academy a year long and by just attrition rates in your department, you lose 10 people a year. Well, now we can't keep up with that replacement because we're making our academies longer to avoid overtime. There's a way we can tighten things up, but like this ain't it.
Well, I got to go back. I think it's absurd that you would want to be compensated
for your off
time studying.
Then don't study.
Don't fucking study. Fail the test. I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're playing a sport or you're paid to play a sport, nobody's complaining. Man, I'm over here, in the cage hitting like for 6 hours a day, or like I'm in the weight room lifting, for 2 hours a day, or I'm on the football field, like doing drills for another 3 hours a day. I want to get compensated. No, like, sorry.
This just isn't the job for you.
That's it right there.
Just isn't the job for you. And that's okay.
That's what I think. And I think that is it. That's okay. It's if this is where your head's at, it's probably not the place for you.
Yeah. Or if you want to do that, then go to a fire department through like a school or something like that and get your certificate that way.
Same thing though. You're running the same issues. Now you're paying for it. So now you're paying for the firefighter 1 and firefighter 2 instead of getting paid, and you're still having to study on your own time.
Yeah, to me that's like, hey, I had to get a bachelor's degree to get this job. I want to be compensated for all that time, and you got to give a lot to get a lot. And this job's incredible. And
all right, so maybe the answer to this, I don't know how feasible this would be, but maybe the answer is you sign a waiver and academies are 100% volunteer.
Well, they are.
Once you get out, you start getting paid. Okay, if that's the case, then we're hiring you on as maybe you get benefits, like you get health insurance, right, in case you get hurt or something. I don't know, but you actually don't get paid. It's volunteer until you get out of the academy.
Or you hire recruits as seasonal employees for their entire time. So the lowest amount of money that you could get
so
paid
instead
by
of
a
getting
city,
paid $25 an hour to start the academy, you're getting minimum wage.
and I bet
And you'll get paid extra. You'll get paid for all your extra time, and you'll
100%.
probably end up making $10 an hour total in the end.
yeah, and it'll save the city money.
Yeah, and it'll save you headache.
We just did it.
Yeah.
You know how much we solve on this show? People think we're
not much,
people-
and it's not that great.
Listen, people call you an idiot all the time.
I know,
and I
I
don't
know.
know if that's
don't know.
right. I mean, I think it is, but you seem to get a lot done. That's all I'm saying.
Keyword scene. George Costanza working at his desk when the boss drives by. Like, oh gosh, all flustered. I look busy. Well, so
We're in a new age, man.
it's disappointing.
It's disappointing that they're even taking this kind of stuff to the levels that it is.
Yeah. All right. So in my search as well, you call 911.
Sure. Well, I do all the time. Have you ever
right.
called 911?
Yeah, I've called 911, but
For what?
2 or 3 times.
For what?
I'm sure one time I saw an accident.
Were you like,
Sir, settle down. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know.
blood everywhere?
Oh, I'm at home. What's your address? I don't know my address. What's your phone number? I don't know.
I'm an EMT, though.
Yeah, that's how you started out. That's when I start out. By the way,
I'm an off duty.
I'm a battalion chief.
Yeah.
Off duty. I'm reporting something. Get here right away.
I was following a SUV that was carrying a trailer, like a camper, and I see it do that speed wobble, and then the whole thing flipped over,
shit.
and I was like, that was pretty cool to see. I guess I got to do something about
I
it.
was actually driving down the street working like a month ago, and right in front of me. So I'm heading south, and there's somebody turning from west to northbound. So they're gonna turn and go the opposite way. Well, they turn. They take this huge wide turn, kind of do a whole 360, and they drive off an embankment like on the side of the road, like right in front of me. And I kind of just was like, I watched it. And I was like,
You shitting me?
well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's how it's going to, nothing surprises you anymore, right?
Yeah.
In the city with no pity. So, but it was just like, all
awesome.
right.
It's awesome.
Anyways, so what would you say? Let's just say you're back in the dating game. Like, put yourself at 18 years old. No, let's put yourself at 25.
Yeah, I didn't date a lot in my teens.
25.
Okay.
What would concern you if you start dating a chick and she's like, yeah, I call 911 once a month. You out?
It depends.
What's
right?
the limit?
Okay.
I don't think it depends.
Oh, 100% depends.
I think it's man, once a year max.
Where are you living? That'd be my first question. First of all, are you safe? Right? Okay. If you lived in a place that you felt the need to call 911 all the time because actual
then it
bad shit
becomes
was
down
happening?
maybe we should get out of there.
Yeah, 100%.
There's some initiative,
Oh, that's interesting too. Okay. Yeah, now I'm in.
once a year.
Once a
max.
year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I thought. It's I was asked by a guy who worked with early on in my career. He's like, one of the first questions I ask a girl when I'm dating is how many times she's ever called 911. And then for what? Because maybe it's once or twice. And, is it my knee hurts now? See ya. Is it, my neighbor, shoveling snow and I saw him collapse. Okay, that's different.
Fair.
So,
Okay.
anyway,
feeling-
this lady called 911.
Okay.
And on her camera, there's just strange dudes on her porch wandering around. She calls 911. Apparently, they come by. They, quote unquote, don't see him, even though it shows the cop driving by. And they eventually tell her, we came out there. There's no one there. We're hanging up on you.
Whoa.
Yeah, watch this.
So we're watching a Ring doorbell.
There's nobody outside.
Oh, well, I'm looking at him right now. Can they drive by it again, or
No,
did they get
ma'am,
the wrong house?
they're not going to come by again.
He's just pacing back and forth.
What?
Is that what I'm seeing?
Yep.
They said
He'll
they've
put-
come by and there's nobody out there, ma'am.
Oh, but they didn't come to the right place. I know.
They did.
Why? I don't understand why they can't drive by again.
Ma'am, officer has already come out there.
Why didn't he knock on my door or talk to me or any of that?
Ma'am, I can't answer those questions
Oh,
because
he's
I'm
got
not
a
an
beer in his
officer.
hand. All right.
All I
He's
can
about
tell
ready to
you
make
is
some
he's
smart decisions.
there.
Can you talk to the
100%.
officer?
It's nighttime, so
I
that
did already,
everything
ma'am.
good happens at night.
That's how I know he
What
can't
did he
be
say?
Oh, is that the
exactly?
cop right there?
Did he
That's the
pass
cop
a red
driving by.
house?
Ma'am, there's nobody
Floodlight
there.
He
on.
was standing in the doorway.
Ma'am?
I don't...
Hello? Ma'am?
So I've got this strange man walking around my
Dude,
house,
that
and
is
y'all aren't going to help me.
creepy.
He's coming up to my porch again.
Ma'am?
What?
I'm going to say goodbye now.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Oh,
There's
she
nothing
says it in
more
such
that
a
I can do,
creepy
ma'am.
way too.
I'm going
All
to say
right?
goodbye now.
Have a good night.
Is it the lady on the right side of your screen, the one that's calling? That would add a lot.
I don't know.
Okay.
So, here's one lesson.
Have a gun.
Teach your daughter how to shoot.
100%.
You
This
want to open that door? I'm telling you guys right now, there is a man on my porch. You have 2 minutes to come back here and get him off my porch,
Or he gone.
or he's gone.
Or bring an ambulance.
I will shoot him.
Yeah. This turns a problem into not a problem really
Yeah,
fast.
I'm pretty sure then 3 cops are going to show up.
Yeah.
And then, right there, it's like when you shoot him, it's like, I fucking told you guys.
Yeah.
I kind of, I listen to this. I don't feel the dispatcher was like being like overly like, you're an idiot, but it was
No.
like she's being told by police. Yeah, we went by there. There's no, so she's believing them. And you can see and kind of hear a little bit of the tone in there of like, it's another one of those callers, by the
Yeah.
end. Once she's heard back from the police that nobody's there, then of course she's probably got a little bit of that closure there of like, okay, now I know I'm
Dealing with a crazy person.
when in fact she's not.
But you're like feeling gaslit while you're calling.
Yeah.
It's like, am I going nuts right now?
Yeah.
That's wild. Is there any like
I
follow up
didn't,
to that?
not in the article itself.
Whoa.
Somebody's getting sued. I mean, if something happened,
Right.
if
But even
not,
still, like that's a huge problem.
yeah. Be interesting to see how they explain that one,
Yeah. But I think having the ability to defend yourself makes the need to call 911 less and less.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you over on our Patreon, so we'll jump over there. But other than
What's it about?
a friend of the show reached out and they want to know about how that transition from a company officer to a chief level. Like, how do you go from managing 3 other people to 4 other stations, and then also like navigating the admin piece of that and still having an operational mindset?
Sweet.
So, all right. Thanks for tuning into The Standard Issue. Get exclusive content and support the show through our Patreon. You can find the link through the-standard.us. While you're there, check out our premium gear and links to our sponsors. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Till next time.